Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So we're still doing the best we can to cover Operation Epic Fury. We heard from General Keane. This is come hell or high water. They have to be taken out, including the leadership, the command and control, along with the ballistic missiles and so forth. Our next guest is also an old friend of mine. Dan Briette was the Secretary of Energy during President Trump's first term. And Dan, you still with the Edison Electric now?
No, Larry, I'm with the Tordon Group here in Washington, D.C., along with some other friends of ours, like Mike Pompeo.
Like Mike Pompeo? Okay, well, that's good. Okay, well, I apologize for that. Inevitably, people want to talk about oil and the Straits of Hormuz. Oil prices have jumped up about $10, maybe a little more, in recent weeks. They were headed. I mean, our oil prices, West Texas, Dan, I think we were in the 50s, and then came the Iran saber rattling, and I'm all for it. I mean, I think there's still a glut of oil worldwide, but walk through some of the thoughts that you may have on Iranian mischief and the oil markets as this Operation Epic Fury is implemented and undertaken by the U.S. and Israel.
Right. No, Larry, you're exactly right. And look, I'll give credit to you, Larry, as the head of the NEC in Trump 1. It was the leadership that you showed at the time and the importance that you placed upon energy production here in the United States that gave us the strength and quite candidly gives the president today the ability to carry out missions like the one we're seeing this morning.
You're very
and not have the world oil market turn upside down, if you will. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, Larry, 30, 40 years ago, had this event occurred, we would be seeing $100 a barrel.
Right.
Today we're seeing, 70, 75. It's a testament to the amount of production that's in around the world. But look, I think as we think about what's happening in the Strait, about 3% of the world's oil production is in Iran today. They have roughly 10% of the world's reserves. We have roughly 1/5 of the oil that is produced in that region coming through the Strait of Hormuz. And what we're seeing, in my opinion, today with the price spike is really the risk premium of getting that oil through, obviously, but it has more to do with paper than it does supply. This is the contractual arrangements between producers and distributors and, customers. And they're worried about whether or not that oil that they've contracted for is going to reach them. So you're seeing that immediate price spike. But over the long run, if you think about this, again, only 3% of the oil that's produced in Iran today is actually making it to the market, 3 million barrels a day or so. Saudi Arabia can easily cover that with their excess capacity. The United States can easily cover that with our capacity. Others, Venezuela perhaps, if it chooses to come back online, can cover those losses. So stability in the oil markets, I think over the long run, is the word of the day. We're going to see that. Prices are going to spike in the near term. In the long term, they're going to come back down. And consumers all across the world are going to be the beneficiaries of that.
We are, of course, in the first term, we all, you, myself, Rick Perry, and so forth, we were just implementing presidential strategy, drill, baby, drill, in those days. I mean, nobody knows oil and oil diplomacy better than Donald Trump. But Dan Briette, let me just, we're running close to 14 million barrels a day, which is really breathtaking. We're just short of 14 million barrels a day. So your points about the market's well supplied and the Saudis, where is Iran? Iran was producing over 3 million barrels a day. Was that the case still?
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they're selling mostly to China. I don't know. And, selling to Russia. I don't know how much Russia's buying. What are the discounts? What were the discounts to China? Were they substantial?
They're huge. They're huge because, I mean, there's nobody else to sell it to. So the Chinese took advantage of that. Yeah. And, got some pretty good pricing, frankly, from the Iranians. That's their only real market, to be honest, Larry. They have nowhere else to sell this oil. And, that's why I suggest that in terms of world supply, world pricing, what we're seeing is just that immediate price spike that's associated really with contractual arrangements. Over a longer period of time, we're going to see those prices settle down. And I dare say they'll be back down in the mid-60s or even low 60s not very long from now, because people will understand that, look, this oil was being produced in Iran and it's going to China. It wasn't coming to the United States. It wasn't coming to Europe. It's going to China. And we can replace that very, very easily.
Your sources tell you anything? We're supposedly have maximum sanctions on everything related to Iran, including China, but I can never figure out whether those sanctions were in fact enforced. You have any sources on that the Chinese stopped buying? Or, I mean, supposedly, it was sanctions. If you did business with Iran, you can't do any business with the United States. Sort of a double tariff. Yeah. I mean, I don't know was that ever enforced?
Yeah, certainly not during the Biden administration. I mean, not that I saw, Larry. I saw the Chinese continue to buy Iranian oil, and I don't want to say that they did it openly and fairly, but they did it fairly freely. And I think, as we saw, during the Biden administration, they were much more concerned with things like climate change and, of course, compliance with the Paris Accords than they were compliance with U.S. sanctions on Iranian oil. And as a result, Iran was able to sell a lot of their oil into the Chinese market. And as we all know now, a lot of that money was used to fund terrorism and nuclear weapons development locally. So I think the short answer is no, they weren't enforced as aggressively as I think we did in the first Trump term, and they weren't enforced as aggressively as perhaps they should have been.
What, I don't know, that's still their biggest cash crop, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, Iran potentially has a pretty good economy, but I don't think they have a good economy because of all the war footing and, the mullahs and the military. It's a socialist, statist kind of economy. I don't think there's much going on there besides oil, is there?
No, I mean, not right now, Larry. The bulk of their economy is dependent upon the production of oil and getting it into the marketplace. But look, let's be clear. This is an incredible society. The Iranian people are just remarkable people. The engineering talent there, the math talent there, the things that could be done in Iran and were done, frankly, many, many years ago. The possibilities are endless. And I think if the people choose to use this moment to return to those days, their economy could explode. I mean, as we think about what's going on here in the United States with AI, with data centers, with the development of these new technologies, the Iranian people could be part and parcel to all of that economic development. And it's I think going to be an exciting day if the Iranian people choose to displace this regime and replace it with a democratic government. If that happens, watch for this economy to explode.
I mean, President Trump wants them to surrender and get on with it, right? We don't know yet. Jack Keane, who does know things, but they're going after the leaders in this bombing. We don't know yet, and we may not know who has been hit and who hasn't been hit for a while. But there have to be different factions. They have to be different factions. And somebody, I mean, somebody should just surrender. I don't know. Take out the bad. I mean, they're all bad guys, but I guess some are worse than others. I mean, you've got military, you need a military coup or something to end this bloody thing. Rather, because, I mean, look, the mullahs, I call them the mullahs together. They're killing the guard, the mullahs. They're killing citizens left and right, Dan Bria. I mean, Robert, O'Brien very well. O'Brien's been reporting on this show, and he's coming on again in a couple minutes. The last I heard a week ago was 35,000. It's probably substantially higher than that. This is killing, murder. This is murdering Iranian citizens, right, who don't have the weapons that the military has. Somebody's got to stop it. I mean, you can't keep going on like this.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, Larry.
I mean, something, I don't know. This is what Trump wants. He doesn't really want to fight a war. He wants the regime to end and for to realize the potential, Dan Brett, that you're describing. That's what Trump wants. Realize the potential.
This has to be the toughest decision, one of the toughest decisions he's made as president.
Right.
You well know, Larry, this is not what he wanted to do.
That's right.
These are not the types of things he wants to do. He wants peace. He said that repeatedly. He wants peace. And this is part of the effort to get peace, but sometimes these are unfortunate events that have to occur to force that change. And you're absolutely right about the amount of, deaths in Iran. I was just talking to a good friend of mine. He happens to be Persian American, Tala Gadarzi. She's telling me, it's 30,000+, and those are the ones we know about.
All right.
We don't know who else, may have perished in this fight. But it's important for, it's important for us to continue this mission. To your point, this mission, it's important for someone over there to stand up. And they already have, but I'm waiting for, today and tomorrow and the next couple of days, somebody, be it a military general, be it some sort of business leader, or just be it the college people that we've seen in the streets. Somebody's going to stand up, and I think I am optimistic that this regime is going to fall. And what a great day it will be if that happens for the Iranian people.
You're right, for the Iranian people and the rest of the world. But mostly, you're right.
And the rest of the world.
For the Iranian people. Yeah. You're quite right. They're the ones who have suffered the most. Sure. And you can't stop too soon. This was something that General Keane warned. You're going to see in the next, day or two, the voices of appeasement will come back again. Let's have a UN. I see already Macron in France. Exactly what we expect of Macron. He wants a UN meeting. Like, does anyone
Larry,
possibly care?
You know it's coming, Larry, because you've seen this movie before.
Of course.
You know it's coming. We dealt with this when we were dealing with JCPOA back in the first term.
It's true.
People saying, "Oh my God, you can't do that because of this and because of that, because of this and because of that."
Macron always wanted peace talks. That just is terrible. I mean, look, Bolton was right on this one. He was right. You know what I mean? I hate to see him. He's turned against the president and whatnot. That's all too bad. But John was right about Iran. But everybody was right about Iran. I mean, only Macron wants.
While we were talking, or Macron wanted to talk, they were out there, trying to figure out how to move forward on their nuclear weapons program.
Of course.
While we're sitting around some table, debating ourselves. And that's just insane. Now, John had it right. And you had it right. Others had it right.
You had it right.
I'm so happy to see what's happening today. I think I'm not happy in the sense of I never want to see war. My son's in the Navy, may actually be out there pretty soon. So I'm not looking for that to happen. But you know what? It's time for this regime to go because they are. They do unsettle the entire region. Yep. And it's time for us, as we did with the Abraham Accords and other matters, it's time for us to get back to a peaceful society, a democratic society, and, stability in that entire region.
100% right. Dan Briette, great friend, former energy secretary in Mr. Trump's first term. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it very, very much.
Hey, Larry.
Folks, we'll take a quick break and then former Deputy Treasury Secretary Mike Faulkner is going to come on and give us his insights on this whole story. I'm Kudlow. We'll be right back.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.